Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about the Homebase East spawn in Stonewood Endurance. So I'm standing on the Homebase right now, and then you can see that the husks will spawn the direction I'm facing out to the east. So let's go and have a look at my defenses now. What I would say is that in general, two things to be aware of with my defense is one, I'm over trapped for what I personally need in terms of my trap durability. But partly I do that so that if you want to copy my builds and you don't have great durability, you're not going to be screwed over, essentially. The second thing is, if you ever see brick, basically a brick represents like a lobber shield situation. So this is just there to stop the lobbers and flingers. There's no traps under it. Or as a block off. This metal, as you can see, I can't edit it. That's because there is a trap on it. So in general, there were a few areas where I wasn't consistent with that. But in general, if you see brick, there's no trap underneath it. So the husks spawn across here. Sometimes they spawn as far over as here, and they can spawn all the way over to here. And they generally spawn all on one level. It's not a problematic spawn particularly. And most of them will walk up this path here. A few of them will walk up this path here. And like the flingers will walk up this way, basically, to try and find somewhere to throw from. There is nowhere for them to throw, so they just walk into the tunnels. So I have two tunnels, basically, and I have one block off. I have in the past had a big block off on this side and one tunnel, but I just took it away because it was too complicated and it was much easier just to do some traps. So I have some sound walls going in, and so we've got two down there, two down the bottom, and two up here. Now you can see, as a side note, these are level 70 and these are level 70, these are level 61. That is because these I placed before the traps were reduced in, so like when there used to be 82s, and these are more recently placed, and so they're less damage. So that's why if you see any discrepancies, that's it. So over here we've got block offs. I've got a wall, then I've got a ramp, and then I've got another wall, and then I have a ceiling and two cones. Same there, a ceiling and two cones, and then here I have a wall, and that is it. It's probably overkill. You could experiment by taking away, say, this last wall or something and seeing if it made a difference. If I could be bothered, then I would experiment with that too. I've blocked off up here just to stop husks from walking through over those blocked off areas. And when they come up here, they should get hit by this dance trap, if they haven't already been hit by this dance trap. I put dance traps at the beginning of my tunnels, by the way, so that propanes drop their propane tanks. That's why. Otherwise, propanes will self-detonate in the tunnels, and that is annoying. So the husks should come up here, and if they manage to escape this drop trap, which will push them back, then they will get hit by a launcher. The launcher will push them all the way along here. Normally, for most husks, launchers will ping them 2 or 3 tiles, depending on how they're perked for impact. If you use my perks, then it should ping 2 to 3 tiles. They come here. They could either then go down those tunnels, or they could walk back along, at which point they would get pinged down, etc. And I have ceiling electrics up here. Ceiling electrics will hit all husks within a 9 tile radius, as long as there's no walls. It won't go through walls, I don't think. So these do a lot of damage to a lot of husks. And then these floor spikes are going to be slowing them down. So I have 3 sets of floor spikes. Floor spikes last for 2 tiles. So if I go across this one, then I'll be slow on this tile, but I'll be speeding up again on this tile. So technically, I could have put another floor spike here, but I don't really need it, to be honest. And If you wanted more damage, you could add a wall dart here, but again, I don't need it. You could add a wall dart here if you wanted. You could add a wall dart here if you wanted. You know, if you needed to do more damage. But I find that all of my husks are dead before they reach here. And in this bit, I just have a little alternator where I've got launchers, launchers, dart, dart, tar, tar, gas, gas. Really simple. And there's a dart to hit them if they get through. They never get through. This is because technically your home base can hit on any random wave, right? But I never have my home base attack more than twice. So this is just in case the one time it gets attacked 3 times. But even then, I still think it will be fine. And I've got a kind of a similar setup on the other side. So we have 3 floor spikes, ceiling electrics, 2 launchers, and then a little alternator. I don't even have a launcher here because I don't really need it. I've put an extra dart there. And that is the home base. As I said, this is overkill. If you're a high level and you've got decent durability, you don't need this many traps. You could probably take away this section here, and you could take away probably this tile here. I wouldn't maybe take away this one. And you could definitely take away the darts around here. Now, if you are a lower level, then you probably want to extend these tunnels out further. I don't think so. I guess you could put a trap here, and you could definitely put ceilings here, for example. But I don't think you could put floors here. I think they would get blown up by the spawns. So this is why I just start on the hill. It's kind of easier. And it makes good use of the hill as well, because it means the husks will fall all the way back down, and they're not, you know, there's no walls interfering with them or anything. So you wouldn't have much more scope to trap down the bottom, but what you could do is you've got tons more tiles to trap over this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you know you could be doing loads and loads of extra traps here if you needed, and that wouldn't be problematic at all. So yeah, that is the Homebase East. You want to make sure that your lobber shield comes out right up to this cliff area here. So as long as you have a ceiling, it's fine to have these gaps here. The flingers don't throw as long as you have a ceiling, and the lobbers don't throw as long as you have a ceiling. They can't seem to figure out how to throw through these things. So yeah, this setup is fine. And again, I just go all the way over. You don't need to technically. So the lobber shield is more of, if you imagine like a circle, where the radius of the circle is 9 tiles from the objective. So this is the key spot that needs the 9th tile. Technically none of the others need the 9 tiles, but just to be safe, I put them in. Because sometimes you'll get a weird situation where a lobber or flinger can throw from way further than they should. And basically my lobber shield extends all the way out to the lobber shield for the dip amp as well. They kind of join into one another. Yeah, like that. So that is the Homebase East spawn of Stonewood Endurance.